The war did not end with a great victory parade or loud celebration. It ended with silence. Human ships floated broken near the edge of the Orion trade route. Some burned. Some drifted without power. The alien fleet did not chase them. It did not need to. The message had already been delivered. Humanity had lost. The alien coalition known as the Valorian Concord had superior ships, stronger armor, and weapons that bent gravity itself. Humans had fought with courage, clever tactics, and stubborn refusal to surrender. But courage alone could not stop a united galaxy. When the final ceasefire signal was sent, Earth expected punishment. What came instead was something worse. A marriage decree. Eli Carter stood in the center of the United Earth Assembly Hall as the message replayed on the massive screen above him. He had watched it already 3 times in the last hour, but it still did not feel real. The Valorian ambassador appeared tall and sharp-featured, skin glowing faintly blue under the lights. Its voice echoed through the chamber, calm and cold. "To prevent future conflict," the ambassador said, "a binding accord shall be enacted. One human citizen will be joined in formal union with one Valorian noble." A soft murmur spread through the room. Eli felt his stomach tighten. The ambassador continued. "This union is symbolic and political. It will represent obedience, peace, and mutual restraint. Refusal will be seen as hostility." The message ended. The screen went dark. Eli did not need to turn around to know that every eye in the room was on him. He was not a soldier, not a hero, not a politician. He was an engineer, or at least, he had been before the war shut down half the shipyards and turned civilian specialists into emergency support staff. Eli had helped repair supply ships, reroute power grids, and keep human fleets moving longer than expected. That, it seemed, was enough. The council leader, an older woman with tired eyes, stepped forward. "Eli Carter," she said gently. "The Concord demanded a citizen with no direct command authority. Someone. Replaceable. Replaceable." The word hit harder than any insult. Eli nodded once. "So they chose me. They insisted," she said. "And they named the bride." Another screen lit up. The image that appeared was not what Eli expected. The alien woman stood tall, taller than most humans. Her skin was pale silver, her eyes deep and dark like polished stone. Thin lines of glowing markings ran along her neck and arms, symbols of rank or bloodline. She wore ceremonial armor, not cloth. Sharp, elegant, dangerous. "This is Veilira of House Threx," the council leader said. "A Valorian war noble." Eli swallowed. "A warrior." Of course. The Concord did not want peace through kindness. They wanted peace through control. The council leader continued. "You will be transported to the Valorian capital world in 3 days. The ceremony will follow immediately." "And if I refuse?" Eli asked. The room was silent. The answer was obvious. Earth would suffer sanctions, blockades, maybe worse. Eli exhaled slowly. He had always known humanity might lose this war. He just never imagined losing would look like this. "I accept," he said. Several council members looked surprised. Some looked relieved. No one clapped. The Valorian capital world was nothing like Earth. Where Earth was noisy, crowded, and alive with chaos, Valaris Prime was controlled and precise. Massive black towers rose into a purple sky, their surfaces smooth and flawless. Ships moved in perfect lines. No wasted motion, no hesitation. Eli stood on a landing platform as alien officials surrounded him. They did not restrain him. They did not need to. To them, he was already owned. A translator device rested against his ear, whispering meanings into his mind as Valorian language flowed around him. Human appears smaller than projections. Fragile bone structure. Emotional instability likely. Eli kept his face calm. They expected fear. He would not give it to them. He was led through vast halls toward the ceremonial chamber. Along the way, banners displayed alien symbols, victories, bloodlines, wars that lasted centuries. Humans measured history in thousands of years. Valorians measured it in survival. At the end of the hall, the doors opened. Veilira stood waiting. She was even more imposing in person. Her posture was straight, her expression unreadable. Her eyes focused on Eli, as if he were a puzzle already half solved. "So," she said through the translator, her voice smooth and firm. "This is the human." "R." Eli met her gaze. "I am Eli Carter." She stepped closer, circling him slowly. He could feel her presence like pressure in the air. "You are not trembling," she observed. "Should I be?" Eli replied. A flicker of something crossed her face. Interest, perhaps, or annoyance. "Humans are known for loud emotions," she said. "Fear, anger, pride. We feel all of those," Eli said. "We just don't always show them." Valera stopped in front of him. "This union is not a partnership," she said. "You understand that?" "Yes," Eli answered honestly. "You will represent your species' submission." "Yes." "You will obey Valorian law while under my house." "Yes." Her eyes narrowed slightly. "You accept this too easily." Eli thought of Earth, of cities still burning, of people who would sleep peacefully tonight because he stood here. "I accept reality," he said. "Fighting it doesn't change it." For the first time, Valera hesitated. The ceremony was brief. Alien customs did not value romance. They valued structure. Oaths were exchanged, symbols were marked. The galaxy watched through 1,000 broadcast relays. The message was clear. Humanity had bent the knee, but Eli did not feel broken. He felt focused. As the ceremony ended, Valera leaned slightly toward him. "Do not misunderstand your position," she said quietly. "Tonight, you will learn what it means to belong to a Valorian." Eli nodded. "And you will learn what it means to be bound to a human." That earned him a sharp look. The audience dispersed. Guards stepped away. The doors closed. Eli followed his new wife toward the inner chambers, aware that this was only the beginning. The galaxy believed this marriage marked humanity's weakness. Eli knew better. Humans survived not by strength alone but by adaptation. And this time, survival had a new shape. The chambers given to them were large, silent, and carefully controlled. The walls were dark metal, smooth and cold to the touch. Soft lights glowed from hidden lines in the ceiling, changing color slowly, like a calm breathing pattern. Everything about the room felt designed to watch, to measure, and to judge. Eli noticed that right away. Valorians did nothing without purpose. Valera walked ahead of him, her steps steady and confident. Her ceremonial armor had been removed, replaced by lighter attire that still looked more like a uniform than clothing. She did not look back as the doors sealed shut behind them with a quiet, final sound. "This chamber is secure," she said. "No observers, no recordings." Eli nodded. "That's good." She turned, studying him carefully. "Most humans would ask why." "Because privacy matters," Eli replied. "Even in forced situations." Her eyes narrowed slightly. "You continue to speak as if you have choice." "I don't," Eli said calmly. "But I still have dignity." That answer made her pause. Valera had expected fear tonight. Or anger. Or weakness. That was what humans showed in the records. Strong emotions, poor control. The Concord had won wars because of that. Yet Eli stood there, hands relaxed at his sides, breathing steady. He did not challenge her. He did not submit completely either. Valorian custom demanded that the bonded pair share space on the first night. It was not about affection. It was about establishing hierarchy. Valera moved closer, her presence filling the room. She was taller, stronger, trained from childhood to command and fight. She expected him to step back. He didn't. Instead, he looked at her, not with defiance, but with attention. "You are afraid," Eli said quietly. The words surprised even him. Valera stiffened. "You mistake caution for fear." "Maybe," Eli said. "But I've seen fear before. During the war. In myself. In others." She studied his face, searching for mockery. She found none. "Why would I fear you?" she asked. Eli thought for a moment. "Not me," he said. "This." He gestured gently at the chamber. At the silence. At the weight of duty hanging between them. You were trained to fight enemies, he continued. Not to live with one. Not to live with one. Her jaw tightened. That is correct, she said. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Vayalira did something unexpected. She sat down. Not on a throne, not on a raised platform, just on the edge of the resting surface designed for both of them. It was a clear break from tradition. You are not what I was told to expect, she said. Neither are you, Eli replied. She let out a slow breath. Tonight, by custom, I am meant to assert control. To remind you of your place. And will you? Eli asked. Valera looked up at him. Her eyes were sharp, but there was something else there now. Curiosity. I could, she said. No one would stop me. I know, Eli said, yet you do not beg. I don't think begging builds peace, he answered. That made her laugh softly, one short sound, quickly controlled. Humans are strange. Yes, Eli agreed. We've survived by being strange. She stood again and moved closer. Close enough that Eli could feel the warmth of her body, the faint hum of energy beneath her skin. Valorians were biologically stronger. Everyone knew that. You understand that this union marks your species as lesser, she said. Eli met her gaze. For now, her eyes flashed. That confidence is dangerous. It's not confidence, Eli said. It's patience. Valera studied him longer this time. She had fought creatures that screamed, charged, and broke under pressure. Eli did none of that. He endured. Valorians respected endurance. The night passed slowly. They spoke more than either expected. Eli told her about Earth, not the politics, not the war, but small things. Oceans that changed color with the sky. Cities that never slept. Humans who laughed even when they had nothing. Vayalira listened in silence. In return, she spoke of Valorian childhood. Of combat trials. Of a culture where failure meant death or exile. Of a life where strength was the only safety. You do not fear death? Eli asked. I was raised to accept it, she replied. That's different, Eli said. Fear and acceptance aren't the same. She considered that. At one point, exhaustion caught up with them. Valorian days were longer than Earth's, and Eli felt the strain in his bones. Valera noticed immediately. You are weakening, she said. I'm tired, Eli corrected. Humans need rest. She nodded and gestured to the resting surface. Then rest. Eli hesitated only briefly before sitting. After a moment, Vayalira joined him. Not above him, not below him, but beside him. The silence returned, but it was different now. Not hostile, not empty. When the lights dimmed further, Eli realized something important. Vayalira had not asserted dominance. She had chosen observation. As Eli drifted toward sleep, he heard her voice, quiet and thoughtful. You are not weak, she said, but you are dangerous in a way my people did not prepare for. Eli smiled faintly, eyes closed. That's how humans survive. Outside the chamber, unseen by both of them, Valorian analysts reviewed data feeds from the ceremony. They noticed something unusual. The human delegates' stress levels had decreased instead of increased. The Valorian nobles' aggression markers had lowered. This was not how dominance bonds usually formed. Something had shifted. By morning, the galaxy would still believe the same lie that humanity had been broken. But inside one silent chamber, that lie was already cracking. Morning on Valaris Prime did not come with sunlight. Instead, the lights of the capital city slowly shifted color, signaling the start of a new cycle. Towers glowed with controlled energy, and ships moved along exact paths like pieces on a board. Eli woke quietly. For a moment, he forgot where he was. Then the weight of the previous day returned the ceremony, the chamber, the strange calm of the night. Vayalira was already awake. She stood near the window wall, looking out over the city. Her posture was alert, as if she never truly rested. You sleep deeply, she said without turning. Humans usually do, Eli replied. If we didn't, we wouldn't last long. She glanced at him. You speak often of survival. Because it's our specialty, Eli said. sitting up. That earned him a small, thoughtful pause instead of an argument. They did not have much time. Soon after the cycle began, officials arrived to escort them. Valera was expected at the High Conclave, where Valorian nobles would formally assess the new bond. Eli was expected to stand quietly and look symbolic. That was the plan, at least. The conclave hall was massive, shaped like a wide circle so no one stood above another. Hundreds of alien nobles filled the space, their glowing markings marking rank, lineage, and past victories. Whispers followed Eli as he walked beside Valera. The human looks calm. Too calm. Perhaps broken already. Eli kept his face neutral. Valera stopped at the center of the hall. Eli stood half a step behind her, exactly where protocol demanded. The High Speaker stepped forward. This conclave recognizes the binding accord, the alien announced. The human representative will remain silent unless addressed. Valera's jaw tightened slightly. Eli noticed. The speaker continued, "This bond is proof of humanity's submission and the Concord's mercy." That word mercy spread through the hall. Eli felt it then. The trap. They wanted this moment recorded. Broadcast. A clear message to every species watching. Humans kneel. Valorians rule. The High Speaker turned toward Eli. "Human," it said, "do you accept your place in this union?" Eli took a breath. This was the moment everyone expected him to break. "I accept the bond," he said calmly, "but not the meaning you assign to it." The hall erupted in sharp sounds, alien reactions of shock and anger. Valera turned her head slightly, eyes wide. The High Speaker's markings flared. "Explain." Eli stepped forward one pace. Not enough to challenge, just enough to be seen. "This bond was meant to stop war," Eli said, "not to erase us. If you treat it as humiliation, it will fail." "You are in no position to lecture," the speaker snapped. "Maybe not," Eli replied, "but humans are experts in failed systems. We rebuild them all the time." Silence fell. Valera did something unexpected. She did not silence him. She allowed him to speak. "This union works only if both sides survive with dignity," Eli continued. "Take that away, and you create resentment. Resentment always leads back to conflict." The High Speaker studied Valera. "You allow this?" Valera lifted her chin. "I observe it." That answer caused unease. The conclave ended shortly after, without ceremony or praise. Eli was escorted away, not as a prisoner, but not as a guest either. That afternoon, Valera confronted him in private. "You risked everything," she said sharply. "Why?" "Because the way they framed it would lead to war," Eli said. "Eventually. You think far ahead for a defeated species." Eli smiled slightly. "Defeated doesn't mean finished." She watched him closely. "My people believe strength solves all problems." "And when strength fails?" Eli asked. Valera did not answer. The answer came sooner than either expected. That same cycle. Alarms echoed through the inner district. Security drones flooded the corridors. Energy barriers snapped into place. Valera reacted instantly, pulling Eli behind her. "Stay close." "What's happening?" Eli asked. "An internal breach," she replied. "Which means betrayal." A rival house had moved against her. Not with armies, with assassins. They struck fast, disabling guards and cutting power to key corridors. Their goal was simple: kill the human, collapse the bond, and weaken Valera's position. They underestimated one thing: humans prepared. Eli had noticed the chamber layouts, the patrol gaps, the emergency systems. While others slept, he had memorized patterns. "Left corridor," Eli said suddenly. "It's a dead end." Valera hesitated only a second before trusting him. They moved. An explosion rocked the hall behind them. Energy bolts struck walls where they had been seconds before. "You planned this?" Valera demanded. "I planned to survive," Eli said. "There's a difference." They reached a service junction. Eli accessed the panel with shaking but steady hands. "Humans design redundancy into everything," he said. "Because things break." The door sealed just as assassins reached it. Security forces arrived minutes later. The attackers were dead or captured. Eli was alive. The damage, however, was already done. The incident spread across Valorian networks. A rival house had violated Concord law. The human spouse had survived. Valera had listened to him. Nothing about this was supposed to happen. Later, alone again, Valera faced Eli. "You should be dead," she said quietly. "So should humanity," Eli replied. "Yet here we are." She looked at him for a long time. "You saved us," she said. "Not with force, with awareness. That's how humans fight," Eli said. "We learn faster than the threat." Valera straightened. "The Conclave will not ignore this." "Good," Eli said. "Neither should you." Something changed then. Not affection, not love. Respect. By the end of the cycle, rumors spread through Valeris Prime. The human was not a symbol. He was a variable. And variables changed outcomes. The galaxy had wanted a broken species. Instead, it had invited one inside its strongest walls. The Conclave was called again within 2 cycles. That alone shocked Valeris Prime. The High Conclave did not meet quickly. It preferred slow pressure, long silence, and fear. Emergency sessions meant one thing only. Something had gone wrong. Eli stood beside Valera as they entered the hall once more. This time, the whispers were different. "That is the human who survived," he warned her. He adapted. Eli heard none of it. He focused on breathing, on standing straight, on remembering why he was here, not for himself, for Earth. The high speaker rose, its markings pulsing sharply. "The attempted assassination has been confirmed as an act of internal rebellion," it announced. House Keth violated Concord law. A ripple passed through the nobles. Valera stepped forward. "The attempt targeted my bonded partner," she said clearly. This was not a political act. It was an attack on the Accord itself. The speaker turned to Eli. "Human, you survived an action meant to end you. Explain how." Every eye turned toward him. This time, Eli did not hesitate. "I survived because humans expect failure," he said. "We plan for it. We assume systems will break. People will betray. Power will fail. Murmurs spread. We don't trust perfection," Eli continued. "Because it doesn't exist." The high speaker narrowed its gaze. "You claim this as strength?" "Yes," Eli said. "Because it keeps us alive." Valera spoke again, her voice steady. "The human identified threats before my own security did. He guided us through our own halls. Without him, the attack would have succeeded." That statement hit the Conclave harder than any weapon. A Valorian noble admitting reliance on a human was unheard of. The speaker was silent for a long moment. Then it asked, "What do you propose, human?" Eli took a breath. This was the edge of the blade. "Treat this bond as what it truly is," he said. "Not a symbol of dominance, but a warning." "A warning?" the speaker echoed. "Yes," Eli replied. "That humans learn quickly. That we survive pressure. That we do not break, we change." The hall fell quiet. Then something unexpected happened. Valera placed her hand on Eli's shoulder. The gesture was small, but among Valorians, it meant equality. "This bond stands," she declared. "And I recognize Eli Carter not as property, but as partner." Gasps echoed across the hall. The high speaker's markings dimmed slightly. "You challenge tradition. I redefine it," Valera said. "Because rigid systems shatter. Adaptive ones endure." Eli felt the weight of history shift. The conclave ended without punishment. That alone sent shockwaves through the Concord. The days that followed changed everything. Human advisors were invited, not commanded, to attend strategic discussions. Eli did not speak often, but when he did, people listened. He asked simple questions. What happens if this fails? What if the enemy doesn't follow logic? What if your strongest option becomes your weakest point? Valorian planners had never asked those questions before. They began to. Meanwhile, news spread beyond Valeris Prime. Other species watched closely. The human was still alive. The bond was not collapsing. Valera's power had not weakened. It had grown. One cycle later, House Keth made its final move. Not with assassins, with fleets. They believed Valera distracted. They believed the human, a weakness. They were wrong. Eli had noticed changes in fleet movement days earlier. Small shifts, delays, patterns that did not match training exercises. Something is coming, he told Valera. She trusted him. The Concorde fleet mobilized just in time. Human observers assisted with logistics, rerouting, and emergency response. Not command support. That was enough. When House Keth struck, they found prepared defenses, flexible formations, and systems designed to keep working, even while damaged. Human doctrine. The battle was short. House Keth was defeated. Not destroyed, but exposed. The message spread across the galaxy. Humanity did not need to win battles. It needed to survive them. After the conflict, the High Speaker addressed the Concorde and its allied species. The binding accord has succeeded, it announced. Not through submission, but through balance. Eli stood beside Valera as the declaration echoed through space. Earth received the message hours later. Trade restrictions lifted. Borders reopened. Human ambassadors were requested, not demanded. For the first time since the war, humanity was not treated as a defeated power. It was treated as a factor. That night, Eli stood on a balcony overlooking Valaris Prime. The city glowed beneath him. Controlled yet alive. Valera joined him. You changed the course of more than one world, she said. We changed it, Eli corrected. She nodded. You once said humans survive by adaptation. Yes. And by bonding, she added quietly. Even under pressure, Eli smiled. Especially then. Below them, ships moved through the sky, human, Valorian, and others no longer separated by fear alone. The galaxy had forced humanity into a corner. Humanity had adapted, and now, the galaxy would never make that mistake again. Because humans were not conquerors, they were survivors, and survivors always endure.